video game movies have come a long way. You can count more failures than you can successful films. Times have changed and things are a bit different now. You still get your stinkers here and there, but I found myself surprised as of lately. I still remember when the first Sonic movie was announced to be live action. It ended up looking as horrid as I imagined it to be. We wanted Sonic the Hedgehog. Instead, they were going to give us Sonic the Mutant Track Runner. Everyone wanted this thing dead, as they should. So, as a result of the fan backlash, it died. Paramount ended up having to redo the CGI for the entire film, making Sonic look like Sonic. From there, it's been success after success. Sonic 2 was even better than the first one. I've heard a saying that trilogies usually drop in quality once the third film arrives. Spider-Man 3 comes to mind. Sometimes it's the second movie in the trilogy that isn't up to par, but because expectations for a sequel was so high due to the success of the first film, shitty sequels sometimes make enough money for a third film to be made. In Sonic's case, all three movies turn out to be banger after banger, each film banging harder than the last. The first Sonic was based off of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis, while the second movie was based off of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for the Sega Genesis. This movie takes a large leap through time, choosing to adapt Sonic Adventure 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. The music choice for some of the scenes of this movie were great. Instead of using the same typical pop music you'd hear in kids movies for the past 20 years, they utilized a bit of hard rock, matching the vibes of the Sonic Adventure series. My only gripe is that they didn't use enough. Another gripe I carry is the same issue I've had with the previous two Sonic movies. Sonic himself. Don't get me wrong, he looks great, but his personality and voice is something that takes getting used to going into every film. In the game, Sonic's personality was meant to appeal to the 90s kids. Sega made Sonic the cool kid in an attempt to make Mario look old and washed up. His mannerisms did all the talking since he couldn't talk. Once Sonic Adventure came around, he spoke, further emerging the player into his character. The Sonic movie series bases his personality off of the children of today.
Okay. $19 and yes, I'm giving it away.
So fucking cringe. He's lacking brain cells. He has his Sonic moments. He also has his serious moments. Other than that, this is a different Sonic altogether. Tails is Tails, which is a good thing. Knuckles is a little different from his hot-blooded video game counterpart. The movies give him the personality of a tribal warrior that highly values honor. It's different, but it works pretty well considering his occupation as the guardian of the Master Emerald in the game's lore. The main attraction of this film and the game it's adapting, Shadow the Hedgehog, was great. He's voiced by Keanu Reeves, which fits for obvious reasons, but in terms of performance quality, I was skeptical. But no, I liked his interpretation. It made Shadow feel older and more serious. Shadow was always a darker character compared to the rest, and Keanu's delivery really capitalizes on that element. Both Robotnik and Gerald are both played by Jim Carrey. Yes, he plays two characters that are seen together throughout the movie. This man is probably why all the non-Sonic fans even bothered to see this movie to begin with. This movie is riddled with references from the games, some that even I missed. Now we gotta talk about a problem that both the Sonic and Godzilla films share. Humans. A lot of Sonic fans were fed up with the human characters hogging all the screen time, especially in the second movie. It's a live action movie, so naturally the actors need their screen time. In movies like these, there's the main character, then there's the main human character. However, the human actors don't intrude in this film. In fact, I'll even say they enhance the plot. I don't know if it's because one of them getting folded causes an anime rage moment, or if it's because Sonic Adventure 2 has a prominent human presence, unlike the previous games. Either way, this is a movie that would not have worked without the human characters. Honestly, if Illumination makes a second Mario movie, I don't know if it's gonna be better than Sonic 3. I'm not saying that Mario won't outperform Sonic 3 in the box office. It's Mario. As popular as Sonic is, Mario has the edge in terms of brand recognition. Ignoring movie sales and paying more attention to the quality of the films themselves, I don't think Mario can pull off a better movie than Sonic 3. The Mario movie and the Sonic movie series are both promoting video games with very different stories from one another. Sonic Adventure 2 is where the Sonic series gets its first really powerful narrative, while Mario is still stopping Bowser's next evil plan. Mario characters have been doing the same exact thing for 40 years, while Sonic characters have been changing, undergoing events that force them to evolve as characters throughout the series run. These video game movies aren't exactly the same as their video game counterparts, but they do such a good job adapting them. Certain strengths and weaknesses when comparing the two game franchises are going to carry over to their films. Now, I'm going to talk spoiler. That final battle was off the goddamn chain. I said this with the climax of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I'll say it again. The live-action Sonic movies are the closest we're going to get to live-action Super Saiyans. These movies are more Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Evolution. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has Sonic power up into Super Sonic to defeat Robotnik. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has Super Sonic fight against Super Shadow, a fight that didn't happen in Sonic Adventure 2. They gave us Goku vs Vegeta in live action before Dragon Ball could. There's even a scene where Shadow shit-talks Sonic about Tom, who he bodied earlier with a simple punch to the stomach. Sent him to the hospital with that blow, by the way. Damn. Anyway, as Shadow taunts Tom, an enraged Sonic crashes out against Shadow. This reminds me of when Frieza was taunting Goku about killing his best friend Krillin in front of him, causing the Golden Warrior to crash out against Frieza. It's nice to see Sonic embracing its Dragon Ball roots. We gotta talk about the post-credit scene. Metal Sonic pulls up in live action. He looks phenomenal. They look phenomenal. An army of Metal Sonics pull up to jump Sonic. Right when Sonic is about to catch the fade, he is saved by none other than Amy Rose. Every time a new Sonic character shows up, I wonder how they would have looked if we were in the wrong timeline. So Metal Sonic and Amy will be appearing in Sonic the Hedgehog 4. It's a little strange considering that both characters are from Sonic CD, a game that came out 8 years prior to Sonic Adventure 2. Looks like the film series will be covering the story out of order, which is fine. We have a complete trilogy of Sonic movies, each film better than the last. Ending the trilogy with Shadow the Hedgehog, adapting one of the greatest storylines of Sonic the Hedgehog history, is a great way to close it off. I don't think a live-action adaptation of Sonic CD would have the same impact as a Shadow movie, so using him for the third film was the right move. There's nothing wrong with Sonic CD featuring Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic Adventure 2. Let's see what the future holds for the Sonic film series.